Hello Internet, my name is Taliesin.
And I'm Evitel.
And welcome to 10.1.
Oh, here we are.
The Embers of Neltharion. We have had a reveal, we've had a cinematic, we've had like a little talk and presentation. We've got a PTR for the patch coming this week. We've got a release date for 10.07 for Return to the Forbidden Reach of March 21st, as predicted on my stream.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. And we've got loads of 10.1 content coming your way, including an interview with Steve Denuza and Morgan Day, with loads of extra awesome tidbits. We've got a cinematic analysis of the Embers of Neltharion cinematic coming up on this channel just after this video.
But for now, we want to tell you everything we know about 10.1, giving you the facts and our opinions on what is to come.
Evitel, are you sitting down?
I am.
It's underground.
No.
10.1 is underground.
I did not see that one coming.
Who could have predicted? No one. This is a surprise to everyone. The internet is melting with shock. What is the story of this patch, Evie? What's going on?
The Incarnates are out and they're making their next move, which takes them underground in search of Neltharion's secret laboratory, Abberus. Oh my god, I said laboratory instead of laboratory.
That's okay, Neltharion doesn't mind, he's dead.
Abberus being where the Drakthir were created, and where apparently Neltharion heard some whispers from someone we may be familiar with.
And none of the other dragons know about this. The Drakthir were like the ones that worked, and the entire place is just full of kind of abandoned experiments and aberrations.
Aberrations,
right?
and Abberus.
Everyone wants a piece of Abberus, right? So the Primalists want it because it's got some powerful, like, fire, right? Which apparently they can use, which is very mysterious. But not only that, the Sundered Flame as well.
Scale Commander Sarkareth, who is leading the charge down, trying to get there first.
According to Steve Denuza in our interview, Sarkareth is indeed the final boss of that raid as well. So the Sundered Flame very much taking a front seat in the story of this patch. There are so many individual points to talk about in the patch. We've got that new zone, we've got the new raid, we've got the new Mythic Plus season, we've got a new Race of Renown track as well, with a whole new bunch of rewards. We've got a new dragon riding mount, and we're going to be telling you all about them.
Our new zone, let's talk about it. Zaralek Cavern.
According to the presentation, it's about the size of Zereth Mortis.
Bigger than Zereth Mortis,
which
apparently.
is pretty big, but it's going to feel a lot smaller in some ways, because of course we have our dragon riding mounts to get around. So we're going to be zooming all over the place.
This is quite cool. I don't know, you know, when I heard about going underground, I was like, really? But dragon riding underground and flying underground is going to be a really different experience.
Exactly. So, like, when they say it's the same sort of size as Zereth Mortis, that means in kind of like, you know, floor print and footprint and what have you. But I wouldn't mind betting that it's a lot more three-dimensional and it's going to have lots of archways and little tunnels and things like that.
And
to kind
stalagmites and stalactites.
Yes!
I don't remember which goes
I'm
on
so
the top
glad
and which
you
goes
said
on the
that,
bottom.
and I didn't have to do it.
An underground, but really textured, I think really like vertical, detailed zone.
And there are entry points to the zone, like all over the Dragon Isles. Because it's not underneath the Forbidden Reach, it's underneath the Dragon Isles itself. In fact, Abberus, the actual raid, is underneath the Obsidian Citadel in terms of... Because he built the Obsidian Citadel, and that's where Neltharion was hanging out in public, and then underneath he'd go down to his basement and he'd jam with some experiments in his laboratory underneath, right? So I think we can probably guess where those entry points are throughout the Dragon Isles. Like the one in Azurspan is very obvious, the big stone wall that they're all chipping away with and things like that. But the point is, like, you know, there isn't like one way in, you get in through all different directions. It makes the map feel very connected to the zone that we've already been in.
Yeah, it does. And so you've got some underground variety as well. You've got, you know, the kind of like molten lava bits.
Yes.
You've got the crystallized,
I love the
green
crystallized
bits.
So cool. What's that bit called again?
The green bit. And the green oozy bit, which is of course where all of the failed experiments have gone to die.
The oozy green bit. Are you excited about the oozy green
there's
bit?
ooze.
You're not, are you? Let's be honest. Hands up if you're excited about the oozy green bit. Look, I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be brilliant. But let's face it, everyone looked at opening and everyone was like, oh, the fire bit, that looks so cool. Oh, the crystal bit, that looks so awesome. Oh, plague bit. Oh, cool.
Cool.
What are we doing in the new zone, Evitel?
We're making new friends. So there's tons of new story involving the Dragonflights, which we know, but also new friends. There are new Renown track, and we have to become friends with them. The Niffens.
The Niffens! The mole people!
Niffens.
This is so cool. I made so many jokes about mole people in my, like, things that 10.1 video needs. Like, it was a recurring joke throughout the video. And now they've given us mole people.
Yep.
Are they a bit like the little mole people from Shadowbringers Final Fantasy XIV?
Possibly.
So you're up for spending the entire patch just becoming friends with the Niffen, are you?
Yeah, it depends on what they can give me.
What do you think they're going to sound like?
A bit muffled?
I think they're going to sound a bit nasal.
They're
big noses like that. They've got to be like,
hello,
welcome to the Zaralek Caverns.
Hello.
It's lovely to have you here. Blizz, if you haven't done the voice acting for the Niffen yet, I offer my services. Hello, welcome to the Zaralek Caverns. It's lovely to have you here.
Hello.
Oh, well done. You've got to Renown 3. Now you've unlocked Niffen Tool Transmogs.
They look so cute. So you need some balance. So we've got our cute friends and we've got our slightly less cute friends with the Drogbar, who we've met before.
Oh, we're going to be seeing loads of Drogbar. There's a whole bunch of, like, they showed a kind of a slide of various creatures that can be under there. And there's, kind of like little mice and cute things and snails. Snails all over the shop.
Loads of snails.
And like some kind of rock-looking dragon things, which are really cool as well.
But I think it has a really cool like look and feel. So this kind of mix of like crystals and fire and cute mole people.
So there'll be like world quests and events down there to kind of do the Renown track. The story, we've been promised a continuation of some of the like campaign stories that have been going on. So a continuation of the tier hold storyline from Valdrakken. There's going to be a continuation of the Blue Dragonflight storyline, a big focus on them as well. Nice. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a tiny bit of Tyrande and stuff in there as well, even though that wasn't mentioned. In our interview with Steve Denusa and Morgan Day, they confirmed that the story campaign quests will not be attached to Renown progress.
Oh.
Okay, so like, how you unlocked story through Renown?
Yes,
that
I
you've
just did.
Just about done
Literally just
in time for the
did.
new patch. Then that's not going to be the case. It's going to be just the rewards and stuff on the Niffen Renown tree. Obviously, like, there's going to be stories set before the events of the raid, and there's going to be stories set after the events of the raid. And so he said for this patch, they're probably going to be focusing on like rolling out the story in the same way that they did in Zereth Mortis, with kind of not on such a strict track as that, but he kind of implied that there would be kind of new story at various points in the patch, which I think after having like 10.0 and the quests attached to Renown, which I think was a really good idea, and I actually really liked it. I know some people thought a bit slower with Renown, didn't love it quite so much.
I loved having the option to go slower, but I'm glad that they're switching it up now.
I think it's cool to have like a more kind of serialized sort of unfolding story over a couple of weeks as well. I think, hey, maybe it'll be rubbish, but I don't know. I like the idea.
I'm down.
You had a look at the Niffen.
I did.
What cosmetic rewards do you want from them?
Oh,
because there are transmogs connected as well, and the world transmogs. I imagine there'll be like a Renown coloration of the Renown transmogs, which are really like kind of black dragonflight themed.
Oh,
right?
Because they look really, really, really good.
Yeah, because this is Neltharion. Neltharion's kind of like hideout, man. It's a secret place, so it's very connected to the black dragonflight. There's going to be story. That's more story as well. There's going to be story around Rathian and Sibelian and Abyssian as well, who we've already data mined a new model for in like previous data, and will be playing an important part in the Black Dragon story here. So yeah, loads of Black Dragon style armor, loads of Black Dragon style weapons and things,
looks
and
so good.
a lot of that is bound to be on the Niffen like Renown tree. It's gonna be look what we found over in the rocks. Would you like it? We don't know what. It doesn't fit us. We're too tiny.
Are they just gonna have little like Wallace and Gromit voices?
Yes, I hope so. Like I say, Blizz, I'm putting myself forward for this. And obviously there are going to be dragon races down there as well, and new kind of like sort of world questy type mini games. There's like a cavern exploration kind of sort of mini game in the style of, I guess, the rock climbing and the fishing and stuff up top. And there's going to be snail racing.
Ooh, sign me up.
How's the snail racing going to work?
No idea, but I love it.
Very slowly, I'd imagine.
I'm in.
And another thing, which is a reward in the zone, is the new dragon riding mount.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. I mean, we've seen this data mined. We've seen flashes of this before, but it's so nice to have my hopes confirmed. I love it. I love my flying noodle. I'm really excited to see how it's going to look and feel.
I think they do themselves a disservice almost by describing it as a Cloud Serpent inspired mount, because I don't think that tells the whole story. Because when I think of Cloud Serpent mount, I think of, well, the Cloud Serpents use the same skeleton and framework as, like, the Mana Worms serpents and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to imagine that dragon riding and dragon flying.
Well, yeah, because the cloud serpent, when they're at rest, they're like really asymmetrical, right? They've got their little tail going.
And dragon riding is all about very precise and up and through. But the skeleton isn't actually a cloud serpent skeleton. No. It's the Heart of the Aspect skeleton, from the store, that golden one. And I've been flying around on the Heart of the Aspects,
just to get a feel
experimenting.
For it.
And it's much more dragon feelings. And of course, all the glyphs to collect for your new dragon riding abilities.
Ooh, what are those?
Morgan Day said that there's an ability which is like ground skimming, where you, even if you're not like blue swirling, you gain vigor back by skimming the ground.
That would be so useful for me.
I skim the ground all the time. I go everywhere, like this far above the ground.
It's the so much fun. Oh, I know. It's just
so much
thrilling.
fun. I want it to be like some literal, how like the way in and out of the Undercity, when you're flying in and out of the Undercity, and there's that kind of very narrow, swirly kind of corridor to get out. I want loads of that. I want dragon riding through kind of tiny little caverns and stuff like that. I think that'd be so much fun.
What if we get a dragon riding ability? This isn't going to happen, but this is my dream. That you can like mount on the ceiling.
What?
Not like that. You just kind of you can land on the ceiling and then you can dismount and it's like a launch yourself off of the ceiling.
That's insane. You'd be upside down.
Yeah, you'd be upside down. You wouldn't be able to like walk around. It's not like a Spider-Man thing. You wouldn't be able to like walk around, but you could like attach yourself to the ceiling and then dismount and you'd get like extra vigor.
Sure. Okay, cool. Sounds great. I think. Yeah.
I don't know. It just came to me.
Look, we're just the ideas people, Blizz. You have to make it happen. Okay? We're just the creatives, right? We're just like the medicines in this situation.
Look at those stalagmites / stalactites.
Make it happen.
Don't you just want to like land on them and then
Evie's like Batfink kind of like ceiling mounting,
right?
all right?
Like,
yeah, definitely.
So not everything is happening underground. We've also got new assaults happening up above ground from our fiery friend.
Yeah, so these have been described as being a bit like elemental storm invasions, primalist invasions.
Kind of exactly like it then.
Okay, yeah, great. And it sounds like the rewards are like it as well. I would say the Sundered Flame are taking kind of center stage as the baddies of this patch. But, because, they're trying to beat the primalists to the secrets of Abberus, right? And to reclaim their legacy and what they see as their birthright and what have you. But if there is a primalist who's taking center stage in this one, then it is Fryak.
Yeah.
100%. Like, he wants to bathe in the fires of Abberus, which are the fires that the other two are trying to get hold of and use for their own purposes.
Which apparently this magical molten fire has some special properties that we don't know about.
If we do fight a Primal Incarnate in this patch, it's going to be Fryak. Yeah. The whole kind of opening of Dragonflight was very, very storm themed. The theme of this patch is very much fire.
Yes, it is.
Like the melting lava underground. Fryak will be like flying to destroy the pristine zones of the Dragon Isles and make them all dangerous. So like lots of big kind of, I'm hoping they'll at least be very spectacular.
Yeah.
These like Fryak invasions, because you're going to be getting elemental overflow. You're going to be upgrading your world gear and stuff like that.
Because there's another level to that now.
Oh yeah, well there's another level to that in 10.07. There'll be a whole another couple of levels to that, I would imagine, in 10.1. Which is like, that was content that I basically ignored on my main throughout the whole opening of Dragonflight, and I was like, well,
a bit of it.
Really? I was like, well, whatever, man. I did them once or twice. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I didn't. So I was like, okay, but I've got like 8 or 9 alts at level 70 now, and I've loved doing the elemental storms and the primalist invasions on them, just to get my tier sets and things, and to like get gear which I could then upgrade with the sigils and turn into tier sets using the catalyst. It will be something that I don't touch until like the second half of the patch, but that's gonna be great and I'll probably really enjoy it. So I hope that they are at least like very spectacular to be a part of and to be involved in, right?
I think they'll be great fun. I'm always a fan of the like invasion format. Like back in Legion up to now, I just think it's fun.
Of course, then we have season 2 with the new raid Abberus.
Ooh.
Now, I've got a slight concern about Abberus, and in fact, like maybe the entire concept of 10.1. How would you describe, aesthetically, the Vault of the Incarnates raid?
Quite underground. It was a vault, wasn't it?
It was a vault underground with lots of rock and lots of lava.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Just like if you had to speculate, what do you think Abberus would be like,
Okay,
just based on the zone that it's set in.
I
and
see
the
where
concept.
this is going, but I think because of the actual what happened in Abberus, like the kind of creation of Drac, the creation of weird, kind of like Neltharion's darkest, weirdest creatures, I think it's going to be a bit different.
Not to give anything away, but obviously I did ask Morgan Day and Steve Denusa about this, and they kind of went, it's different, okay?
It's different. I can't tell you how, but
Make
it's
sure
different.
you watch that. I thought they were going to end the interview.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like, if you've ever wanted to see Steve Denusa and Morgan Day just like roll their eyes at me and just like...
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They've assured me that it's going to be very, very different. Okay. Now, I still remain to be convinced, honestly, because like I feel like I've spent, I'm going through all the concept art and the pictures of the zone and stuff. You know, if you told me that some of these were just pictures of the Vault with the Incarnates, I would totally believe you, because it's very Jaredin themed as well, it being under Obsidian Citadel and stuff, the raid.
We meet those dudes down there as well.
Exactly, like the world boss down there is a duo of Jaredin, kind of like doing a double kind of like...
They're angry.
Yeah, they're very
They're mad.
angry. Maybe they don't like each other, I don't know. Like, I just feel like Abberus might feel a bit like the Vault of the Incarnates stylistically. I've been told that it won't be, right? So, I don't know. Yeah. We've seen images of 5 of the bosses, and they look pretty standard. They look like they could, again, they could have come from the Vault of the Incarnates. Yeah. Interestingly, a 9-boss raid again for the second raid of the expansion, which is unusual.
I like it.
Yeah? Yeah, I kind of liked having just the 9 bosses in Vault of the Incarnates.
Yeah, same. I feel like it's a good number.
Yeah, I was 8 in Vault of the Incarnates, but it says, one extra this time. Yeah, but and I feel like maybe this is a reflection of like the shorter patch cycle as well. Zakareth, the leader of the Sundered Flame, looks to be the final boss of that raid. I wouldn't be surprised if Fryak is in there somewhere as well.
Just peeking out of the corner like a Skeletor.
Just bathing in the fire, right? Like in Dragonprint. Also, we've seen from the raid tier sets.
Nice.
We've seen like one kind of image for each class, and it was on the presentation. So until these appear on the PTR, we can look at them properly, or in data mining or whatever. These are small kind of grainy images of various different color schemes and what have you. I'd love to do a proper video on them of just us like talking about them and reacting to them when we got some better images.
Yeah, because it's funny because some of them are clearly LFR level and some of them are clearly Mythic.
Which one is clearly the LFR level?
Rogue maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So there's a couple of different color schemes that you can, identify there. Yeah. It looks like the kind of the real good stuff is kind of red and white and gold, and then you've got like a purple version. You've got like a kind of a bluey version,
the bluey green,
and there's like a black and gold version as well, which probably be like heroic, I'd imagine. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, some of them look absolutely baller. Like the priest one looks great. All of them are shown on, I think, male humans. They're all super bulky, so the cloth ones are a bit funny looking. But I don't know, any that jumped out on you? What do you think of the hunter set?
Oh my god!
I know you're not a hunter anymore, but.
I'm never going back. It's got like one.
It was okay.
Oh my god! It's like one giant shoulder piece. It's fun and a little bit of asymmetry, which is fun.
I thought the shaman one looked great. I love the shaman one and the evoker one as well. So
evoker looks spiky.
Really
totally.
They go to town with the evoker ones. They make them animate as heck. I love it. A question that I wasn't able to ask in the interview was like, what their concept with tier set pieces and effects is with like 2 set and 4 set, because I know they kept them very simple for season 1. I wonder if there's going to be more like game-changing stuff in season 2. I'm sure someone will have asked that in the whole round of interviews, and we'll round them up on the weekly reset this week. Also in season 2, whole new round of Mythic Plus dungeons. Obviously the 4 that we didn't have in season 1, and another 4 legacy dungeons to go with it, including your favourite Freehold.
Oh my god.
You can't sell leveling boosts through there if it's just Mythic Plus, right? Underrot, also from Battle of
I love Underrot.
We suspected that Underrot was going to be one of them because they made some like tuning to it a couple of weeks ago in the live game, which is interesting. Neltharion's Lair, which makes sense. It basically looks like the new patch.
Really cool.
And Abyssian's in it, and Abyssian's going to play a role in this. In fact, the Drogbar's in it, so like that's very, very thematically
makes
fits.
Sense.
And the Vortex Pinnacle from Cataclysm, which is kind of like the opposite of everything else in this patch. It's like, you're underground for a lot of the patch. Well, okay, now now you're literally up in the air, and there's nothing anywhere. There's no ceiling. It's all good. It's like completely open and airy, and just the opposite, which is just nice as a palate cleanser. But the interesting thing about that dungeon, obviously, is it's a Cataclysm dungeon, which is the furthest back we've ever gone for Mythic Plus. Yeah, in fact, in interviews and stuff, Ian suggested, I never believed him, but he suggested that it was unlikely we'd ever go back further than the Mist of Pandaria dungeons for Mythic Plus, because the further back you go, the more kind of old-fashioned they are in their design choices and things like that, and the harder they are to adapt for Mythic Plus.
The more entangled the code is.
Yes, exactly. So Morgan Day said this was very much a kind of experiment, and we might well see some more Cataclysm dungeons introduced as the expansion goes on, or even going further back, which is great, because you don't want the same. There's something I like. Freehold, and I hate the Underrot. What am I even talking about? But I feel like BFA dungeons. Soon you'll be getting Shadowlands dungeons in that rotation, probably next expansion and stuff. And I don't know, the older ones just feel more fun because they feel further away, and because you've never played them Mythic Plus before.
How about the affixes?
We don't know anything about the affixes yet.
Nothing.
They're being worked on. We don't know the seasonal affix or anything like that. But I wouldn't mind betting it'd be something larvary.
No.
Yeah, like Fryax Flame or something like that, right? Maybe Fryax will fly over the arena and just breathe some fire randomly. People would love that. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if every now and then Fryax just flew over the dungeon and just breathed fire?
What's that one called?
Just a ground effect.
Pummeling? Fiery pummeling.
And it stuns you if you get hit.
Yeah,
totally.
There you go.
I've done the work for you guys. People are going to love that. Other smaller features, I say smaller features.
Tiny feature.
Cross-faction guilds are coming in 10.1, which is insane.
Now, they have stressed that this is going to be really, they're testing the waters. They really want to see how this feels, and they're going to be seeking a lot of feedback from people while it's happening, because they want to get it right. Obviously, this is a huge change, and they want to make sure that they're doing this properly.
A welcome change, though. I did ask Morgan Day about this in the interview as well, and I didn't get to ask him much about it because it's towards the end of the interview, but they are expecting to have it functional by 10.1. This is not an incremental introduction. This is sort of if everything goes according to plan, there will be cross-faction guilds in 10.1, which is awesome, because I've got all these Horde characters that I want in my guilds.
Oh, I know, same. Please, can I be a Nightborn and not have to hang out in Orgrimmar? Please?
What, you want to be a Nightborn hanging out in... That's not going to happen.
Oh,
no way.
She's just too beautiful for Orgrimmar, Tally.
Don't be greedy, man. You're getting cross-faction guilds. Don't have your Nightborn hanging out. Maybe that'll happen. I don't think that will ever happen.
She's from Suramar. She needs somewhere classy.
I think that will be the last remaining bastion of kind of faction stuff in WoW. Will be the capitals not being able to be in the other capitals and things like that. Yeah. I think so too. So I think cross-faction guilds is amazing. I did predict that would happen before the end of the expansion, but I did not predict that. I did not think it would be this early. I thought it'd be a 10.3 thing or something like that. So I'm
pretty exciting.
It's awesome. It's really, really good.
Really cool.
Your thoughts on 10.1? Here's what I envisage will be the criticisms from the community.
And envisage.
I can see, I don't necessarily agree with this, but I don't necessarily disagree with it. I can foresee a conversation happening whereby people bring up the fact that 9.1 was more. Yeah, and that was obviously something that people identified as a really bad thing about 9.1 was we waited a very long time for it, and then it was more of an aesthetic that we were already very used to and had been involved in a lot up in the expansion up to that point. I can see people pointing out, maybe understandably, that being underground and being all rocky and lavary and stuff is kind of more Obsidian Hold, more Vault of the Incarnates. The Obsidian Hold is a grindy area, which a lot of people grinded, mostly towards the beginning of the expansion, but people have spent a lot of time grinding in Obsidian Hold. People have spent a long time in Vault of Incarnates, and I can foresee a conversation in the community where people are it's just more of that. What do you think about that?
I can see that. And you're right. I spent a lot of time, especially in the beginning, just killing Jaredin.
Gotta get those black dragon scales, man.
Yeah. I was a little bit slow, but I got there. All right. But you do get the Niffens, Niffloids, Nifflers, Nifflerinos. I don't know. I think I kind of disagree with you on this. From what I've seen from kind of the screen grabs and the concept art, it looks different enough. Like there can still be some fire and there still can be some angry Jarden stomping around, but you've got other stuff that does look cool. And of course, you're not going to be restricted to doing all of the content in here all the time. There's going to be stuff above ground as well that you can do and keep up with.
And I agree with that. And I think, you know, the different kind of subzones of the new zone, the new biomes, they do look really different and varied and, you know, like always fun to collect new stuff and what have you. I'd say one of the biggest strengths of 10.1, unironically, is because of the roadmap. Like, we know, you know, it's not going to last for the rest of the year. 1.5 and 07 and 1.7 are coming before the autumn, which will have, like, a new mega dungeon and stuff like that, which will be set after the events of the raid. So I wouldn't mind betting that's where we kill Fryak. Winter, we've got 10.2. And I think 10.2 will be, like, a huge departure. I think it'll be a whole new kind of, like, island or something. I don't think it'll be connected to the Dragon Isles at all. I think there'll be a major shift in story. Will be a huge departure kind of thematically for the expansion, which you kind of need in a 0.2, I think. I think that's good. And one of the biggest strengths of 10.1 is we know that's coming. We know 10.2 is coming this year. So, like, there's never, and that's the great thing about having the roadmap is, like, there's that lack of panic, that whole, like, oh, how long does this have to be fun for? You're looking at a new patch every 8 or 9 weeks, which means that this patch 10.1 is probably going to release end of April, which is wild.
Wow.
This is probably coming end of April, like very beginning of June at the absolute latest. So yeah, there's this whole kind of the rollout of the content in Dragonflight is amazing so far.
You're right. I mean, knowing that that's coming makes a huge difference, I think.
So that's 10.1, everything we know about it so far. Like I say, the PTR is coming out this week, so we're going to have even more news for the weekly reset. People are doing interviews all over the place, which we'll be rounding out on the weekly reset as well. We've got the cinematic analysis to come as well, and of course our interview with Morgan Day and Steve Noosa, which is an absolute banger. Always an absolute pleasure to speak with them. We were the first people to talk to them in the round of interviews as well. So we got them fresh,
nice and fresh.
But thank you for joining us today for this video. If you liked it, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give all their actual real, they give it all.
They give it literally all.
Our patrons live in squalor and penury because they give us all of their money to make our work happen, and I think you'll all agree it's worth it. So thank you. Without you, there'd be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Maria Hamilton. Oh, awesome to see Maria in Hamilton, by the way, given that presentation. Brilliant. No, my name is Taliesin from me
and the Evitel.
Until next time, soon, cheerio.